Welcome, everyone, to a Delco Nerd Network Rewind Review, where we like to talk about some of our favorite film franchises of the past. On this season, or series, if you will, we're talking about the RoboCop movies, starting with RoboCop from 1987. Joining me, as always, is Anthony the Gooch Ragucci, and for the first time in a while, Mr. Evan. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. We appreciate it, man. It's been a while.
I'm so happy to be here. Very happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'm really fucking excited to talk about this, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
When I was watching, I was thinking more about doing the "Can You Fly" trio.
That's a good one. I mean, there's so many.
I have to do "I buy that for $1."
It's too classic.
I mean, that's like, I feel like the one you always think of. I mean, there's so many bitches leave,
Yes.
but we'll go into it. Titanium, but we'll talk about that later.
Titanium?
Titanium. Didn't you catch that?
No.
When the woman goes, it's made from titanium. When she's talking about his
Oh,
armor.
like titanium.
Yeah.
It's like aluminium.
Exactly. But in American for some reason.
I wonder if she was actually British.
I don't know. I don't think. I'd be
Paul
curious.
Verhoeven is
Dutch.
So a lot of this movie is, like, I explained it to my wife, is like, this is a European's view of American policing and American culture, making an American 80s action movie.
It is
and like
wild.
when you think about it as like this movie is filtered through a European lens, it starts to put a lot of those perspectives into place.
Especially
Yeah.
at the time. But
Yeah.
all right, let's get into the little details here, and then we'll get to the review. So initially released July 17th of 1987 with a production budget of $13.7 million, had an opening weekend of $8 million, a worldwide box office of $54.1 million. That's not adjusted for inflation, so that would be around, like, I guess, 150 something now. Directed by, of course, Mr. Paul Verhoeven, written by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner. Little description for you guys. In a violent future of old Detroit, murdered police officer Alex Murphy is resurrected as RoboCop, a powerful cyborg law enforcer. As he fights crime, he begins to recover his memories of his past and seeks revenge on the gang who killed him.
That's a good description. It's
a good description. It's very literal.
We get some fucked up descriptions.
The Harry
Yes.
Potter ones were especially fun, I feel like.
It's just like, what?
That did it. A
that was
wizard
on
goes
point.
to a school.
That
That's
wasn't
not-
very like, and that was like a bit detailed too.
Yeah.
Like there was like it was more than just like cop dies and comes back.
He gives you the full plot. It really does.
Yeah.
But let's get into it, guys. This is one of my favorite movies, genuinely, of all time.
Mine too.
This is something I remember, like, discovering on my own, I feel like, too.
First
which is, I
time
feel like-
viewing.
I know, yeah. I was going to
first
say,
time
Goose.
viewing.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts after a first time viewing. This is like my 20th time viewing.
And I'm sure you're familiar with so much of this movie, though, right?
yeah.
Like,
It's
you,
not-
to a
it's
degree,
not
you've seen
like
clips.
Totally like, I kind of know what to expect, but I want Trio to start off, and then we'll go to
Yeah.
Evan, then we'll come
No,
down to
yeah,
me.
sounds good. So,
Yeah, this is your thing. This was your idea to do this.
absolutely,
this one,
you were.
so.
We're a bit of a lull right now. There's not a lot going on in the way of reviews. So Goose was like, super Trio. What do you want to do? I'm like, well, RoboCop, of course. It's been a while, and I just
Yeah,
got
and
the
you've been
4K.
talking about it,
I've been
yeah.
talking about it. But yeah, dude, like I said, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It holds a special place in the way of, like, I remember discovering it kind of on my own as a kid. You know, watching like FX or something stupid, and it's like,
They do have
RoboCop.
the movies.
They do have the movies. I don't know if they still do, but I just remember seeing the title being like, RoboCop, what the fuck is that? And then watching it and seeing Alex Murphy get destroyed in the first scene. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't watch this. But then you just continue on to the insanity. There's so many layers that I didn't really understand at that point in my life that you kind of start to grasp as you grow up. Peter Weller's performance is just iconic. It's funny seeing him pre-RoboCop at the beginning, like how he's acting, and he almost feels like
a normal person.
like a normal person, but also like it almost feels weirdly uncomfortable. I don't know, in a way, like it's like he is almost ready to be RoboCop. I don't know how else to describe it. Because I feel like he's living for so much of the movie in the RoboCop character that I don't know. You just don't really settle into the Alex Murphy character, but you get enough of him and you roll right into it. And god damn it, I really do freaking love this film.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can go into some more details. Evan, let's hear what you think. Initial thoughts.
I love Paul Verhoeven. Total Recall, Starship Troopers. I mean, he's one of those directors. And then he's got stuff like Showgirls, which is like ridiculously bad,
Right,
and then
yeah.
Basic Instinct. But like, I love Paul Verhoeven.
Is Basic Instinct a bad movie?
No, I'm saying that Basic Instinct is great, and then Showgirls is. I'm putting Basic Instinct. To
I was
the
like, I
same
thought
category.
Basic Instinct is a pretty
Yeah.
good movie.
And Showgirls was like an X-rated movie, right?
Yes.
Like he-
Well, and then it was like an NC-17, and then
Right,
it was like a complete flop. But I love Paul Verhoeven in a very blunt way. I need to say that this is one of the few films that I consider to be a truly perfect film. And I think that a lot of the cheese here is intentional. I think a lot of the corniness is intentional. I think this is a satire. This is like a deep critique of American policing, corporate control. It's a European view on like American culture, all kind of masquerading as this crappy 80s action movie. And it really like, it's so excessive. It's so violent. It's so over the top. But like, that is the point. This is a smart film. But like, when you hear that title, RoboCop, like
It's goofy.
It's goofy.
Even seeing him,
the way that the costume, the one-liners, dead or alive, you're coming with me. Like it seems like this is going to be just some schlock 80s action film, but it's really not. It's a satire of schlock 80s action films that also happens to be one of the greatest action films ever made. Big question I want to pose to everybody at some point, and I think we can go more into this, is this a superhero movie?
it's funny.
No.
But it feels almost like a superhero origin film in some points.
And that
like,
almost like even like a weirdly little bit of, this might be weird, but like Power Rangers
Yes,
kind of.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like in between like Judge Dredd and like, Superman. Like,
but it feels like
I kind of get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but like I think the question and the thought process is interesting and cool, but like I don't think I would just like be like, yeah, it's it's cape shit, it's really not.
But again, that's like the denigrating way of saying. I agree with you actually, like when you pose it that way, especially, and even going back to why I maybe enjoyed this movie so much as a kid, when I probably it's a very adult movie.
It
is that stuff, the cop gets he has the origin story, he gets killed, he gets rebuilt.
because it feels like a superhero origin
It
story,
very
right?
much is that.
You're
It
going
hits
through those beats.
all those trappings. You're 100% correct. I
But it's
never even
not
really thought about that.
Really, like I just posed that question, like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, he feels like a superhero. Like he feels like the way he looks with like the Batman mask and the whole idea of
he does have a vigilante
turn
vibe
into
to
a
him.
super cop, but it's almost like, again, it's masquerading as so many things when it's really none of those things. And to me, it's a satire, and it's
100%.
a really, really good, smart, well-made satire. And I think we can go into the details and some of the lines about like what they're satirizing, what they're critiquing, like the excessiveness of the world that this takes place in.
Even just the newscasts, like
Well,
I feel like
the newscasts are tapestry for the world.
it
It's
is so
world
funny,
building.
but like they're talking about stuff I can't remember specifically, but it's like a nuclear power plant in Kentucky
Yeah,
just melted down and
it's
destroyed
20
it.
people died.
Yeah, 20 million people are dead. Anyways,
Anyway,
moving on.
yeah.
Chuck the Taylor or whatever. Blah,
Right.
blah, blah. Like it is kind of
Well,
wild.
there's that one moment where they're like, "Oh yeah, an accident happened aboard the peace station, and 2 former U.S. presidents were killed. We mourn their loss. Anyway, here's more
Moving
news."
on.
Yeah.
There's
Right,
also a
right.
space station,
Yes.
like nonchalantly
And
mentioned.
they say Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, is it like, are we?
Do you know what that is though? Like the Star Wars, that was like a
It
thing
was a
back in the
defense,
80s.
like a missile defense thing
that was proposed,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, by the government at the time.
I
yeah.
think
it's
I
called
might have
Star
known
Wars.
that, like back in my knowledge.
it
but-
was named after the movies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It was like a Reagan thing.
and I could go into. There's so much to talk about, but like just overall, my impression of this film, I discovered a little bit later. I didn't watch it as a kid. I
Yeah.
watched it in my 20s for the first time. I avoided it for a long time because it seems so goofy.
Right.
RoboCop. Like,
How can
what
this
is
be any
this?
serious thing, right?
And then
yeah.
watching it, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen Total Recall. I feel like Total
Yeah,
Recall
yeah.
is very much the spiritual successor to this. Also, Paul Verhoeven.
Is that in the 90s or is
That's
that still the 80s?
1990. So
Okay,
that was
yeah.
like I think it was the movie he made after this, or I don't know if it was right after the.
Yeah, so
movie
this is
between, but
87.
This is 87. That's 1990. That to me, like, it really feels like the spiritual successor to this, just in terms of tone.
I actually
comedy.
completely see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like looking
so
back.
I grew up with Total Recall and found RoboCop later. Didn't realize they were both Paul Verhoeven. Again, I just want to reiterate, to me, this is a perfect film. I know that seems crazy
No.
to say, but like
This is in my top 5. I completely agree with you.
everything
Actually,
feels intentional here.
Down
That's
to
my
even just the
overall.
look, yeah.
That's
So-
my
I
overall
love it.
impression of it. I love this film. I really
let's
do.
hear it, Gooch.
It's tight.
right.
There's not a lot of bullshit, meandering, over explanation. It kind of tells you exactly what you need and enough reinforcement to the point where it's like, okay, I can buy this. Like, they don't spend a lot of time with RoboCop, going back to Alex Murphy's home, and like
Right.
it's just enough for you to kind of for like him to put the pieces together, and they don't like wallow in like, okay, he's gonna be a cop for a little, and then like all of a sudden it hits. It kind of just moves right into it. You know, you get enough scenes to reinforce some of the villains, and like it, but like you're having fun and you're out. You know,
it's like an hour and 40, right? It's like a tight,
like
tight
almost
movie.
90 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
But
I miss 90-minute movies.
I really Gucci, I'm sorry, Gucci. I talk to Gucci about that all the time. I'm like, this could be a tight 90.
I love a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
I do too. You look at the runtime, like, oh, sick.
It's good. It's not
Oh,
3
I'm gonna
hours
get it.
long.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh god, it's a 3.5 hour movie. And
This is a great movie. I can see why you would say it would be perfect. I don't think I'd ever say that. I didn't grow up with this movie, so it's not. I have no nostalgic for that or the character, but I see a lot of influence in other things from this, specifically the cop outfits. Metal Gear Solid 1, Solid Snake looks exactly like this with his vest and the shoulders.
It's like that in Terminator 1.
Like
is Solid
Kojima
Snake.
definitely got inspired there. Cyberpunk, like the game, not just the genre, but like the world being, you know, I was gonna say like one thing about this. I love how it's not very political, but it also is, but it's just not telling you about it. It's political. It just kind of is.
It shows and doesn't tell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whereas like, you know, most of these kind of things today, like if there's some political undertone, we're gonna hear about
Right.
it.
It's not willing to let you think intellectually about it a little bit. It has to kind of, you know, screen it in your face.
Right. And this
Where-
was such a different time when this was made that it doesn't.
Well,
it
and I
doesn't
think
do that at all.
and that's what makes it so timeless, as we were kind of talking about before we started. And
Yeah,
I do
it
think
is
it's like an
timeless.
interesting choice to not like. What did you think about not really focusing on like? He's not focusing on his family. Like he kind of just wakes up and he's just RoboCop. Like Alex Murphy is almost not
that scene.
not really.
the
even
movie
part
knows
of it.
exactly what it's trying to be,
Right.
and it's not trying to be this like, we really want you to care about Alex Murphy. It kind of makes me care about it enough, but not to the point where like, you know what the focus of this movie, and I'm interested to get to the remake because of like
No, you're not.
like because just
you're
kind of
not.
I'm interested to talk because I actually don't mind the remake, so I'm actually excited to talk about it.
like because I have a funny
I don't like
feeling
the remake.
like the remake is going to be the exact.
It's very different.
opposite
It's
of
so
this.
different.
So
Yeah.
can we get that out of the way real quick, because
Sure.
I do want to focus like this discussion, because to me this didn't need a sequel. It didn't need a third one. I think there's a cartoon series or a TV
Oh, no, the
show.
TV series,
Okay.
yeah. Well, he kind of turns into like a kid's character by the time you get to those two.
And then there's that remake. To me, this movie didn't need anything around it. I know that we started off by saying like, oh, we're gonna discuss
the
RoboCop
world
franchise.
really isn't. It's like it's actually very modern, but like RoboCop
Yes.
futuristic. That's it.
I don't
you know?
really need a sequel to this.
Yeah,
I don't really need a universe. This to me is like, again, it's a satire, so it's just like this perfect little tight film. It doesn't need to be, what does RoboCop do next? And my bigger issue with the sequels and the remake is this movie ends very much. I mean, I know we're gonna jump around. But the whole idea, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen this. If you haven't seen it, pause this video,
Yeah,
watch
for
the
God's
movie,
sake,
come
what are
back.
you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But spoilers. It's all about him rediscovering his humanity and breaking away from corporate control and breaking away from technological control and being like, I'm a human and I can be a human again and I can stop being used.
I'm Alex Murphy.
I'm Alex Murphy. What's your name?
Murphy.
Like, that's the last line of the movie. I'm a human again.
Yeah.
The second movie starts off and he's RoboCop
It is,
again.
that is the problem, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about the sequels, because like,
It's like-
they kind of reset the status quo, and we'll get more into that when we get into
I
RoboCop
did not
2.
expect the movie to end.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done.
Yeah. No,
It's
is a
over.
good- and then titles cut.
The
Yeah.
remake is
yeah.
actually the
Murphy.
opposite. The remake, they tried to do the exact opposite, where it's like he starts as a human, becomes more
Right,
robotic
yeah,
throughout.
yeah.
So they actually flip the script completely. But like, that's all to come in future discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Like for this movie in particular, the whole story, the whole journey of Alex Murphy is and they actually say at one point, I wrote it down, that they restructured the police department specifically to put good candidates directly in the line
So
of
it's
fire.
funny.
Right,
that was
yeah.
one of the, I was going to say, there
Yeah,
are
I
things
heard
I'm
that.
catching this time
Yes.
around. I did not catch that before.
I
didn't
that was
catch
a
that
very
before
mind.
either.
It's like, oh, okay, so they're putting cops in the position.
And you
to-
hear Murphy
should
even say,
to
he's like,
experiment on.
he's like, oh, they're like, what are you doing here, Murphy? He's like, I don't know, OCP's transferring like a bunch of people up here
So
or something.
OCP buys the Detroit Police Department. That's
Yeah.
how the movie starts. They're like, we bought the police department.
Privatize them.
They privatize the police. They even say at one point, oh, well, we used to invest in things that don't make us money, like hospitals or police departments or fire stations. Like,
Right.
now we can make them profitable. So
Yeah.
the whole idea is to make the police department profitable. It doesn't matter about serving the public good. It's how do we make more money? So they purposely reshuffle good police officers to put them in the line of fire to find a candidate that will basically get killed, they can resurrect as a cyborg. And that's what Alex Murphy is in Detroit, or he's like in West Detroit, I think.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
got transferred from like a better neighborhood,
Yeah,
a better
yeah.
police station, to a much worse police station because
Where people are dying on the daily.
corporation is like, you need to be in the line of fire.
We
so
hope you die.
We hope you die.
Yeah.
So we can experiment on
There's
you.
even like so many great scenes that emblematize that. There's who's the not the old man, but the one below him.
Dick Jones.
Yeah.
Dick
Dick
Jones.
Jones. Richard.
My
When
word
he's
for Dick
like when he's like
Jones!
when he's talking
I
about
like
that
the name. I was like,
Dick Jones is amazing.
He's also the bad guy in Total Recall.
Yes,
too.
yeah.
Same
Oh,
actor.
is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But when he's talking to the other guy in the toilet, and he's like, "Who cares if it didn't work? I could have sold 10 of them, and we would have done great."
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of those moments, and even like after he just murders this executive in
Oh
the
my God,
in
the
this
end
in the
to all
scene,
that.
and and the old man turns to him, he's like, "Dick, I'm very disappointed in you." Like the way he delivers it, the seriousness with which like it's delivered in sincerity
but
is
no,
what's like
it's
so funny. But no, the guy's like, so, "Can someone call an ambulance?"
Don't touch him.
Yeah.
The whole idea of that scene is like, hey, we need to basically clear out this entire poor neighborhood so that we can come in and build new, what is it, new
Delta City.
Delta City, yeah.
Almost said New Jack City.
New
That's wrong.
Detroit, I think, too, they start saying,
it's Delta City. Like we
Yeah,
have to build this
Delta
new,
means change.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea is like these Ed 209s are going to go in there and just shoot up these neighborhoods. So like
Right,
at one
clear it
point
out.
towards the end, there's one of the best jokes in the movie is, you are illegally parked on private property. You have 20 seconds to
comply.
And then all the guns come out. So like the idea is like, it's this like brutal police force that's
Right,
like,
right.
it has no discernment over good or evil. It's just like, if you're breaking the law, you're going to get shot to death in the street and plowed out for a new housing development.
And it's also not even supposed to work that way, which is so fun. Like, they just don't even care that
They
it
don't
doesn't
care, it
work.
doesn't
right?
matter.
Yeah, like
They
the
don't
guy's
give a
like,
shit
it's
at
like, we
all.
could have fixed it probably, but like, we're gonna
does
sell
it matter?
20 of these and we'll figure it out.
Right.
Profit.
Miniature, right?
Yes, miniature. So that was done by Phil Tippett, and we'll get into that later. Who's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, you guys
Yeah.
probably know that name, like
I'm
very
curious
famous
to see
stop motion
209
guy.
series.
What is CGI, if anything?
There's no CG.
There's
in
no
this.
CGI.
It's all
That's
stop motion.
It's all
Crazy, dude.
practical.
I
and
mean, we're in
stop motion.
'87. You know, it's like we're getting closer to that point.
Terminator
I
2
would have
was the
expected
big-
like a little bit.
So there's only one scene that like I caught, and I don't know if it was on the 4K. It's funny watching a 4K of a movie this old. You're like, I don't know if this was meant to be seen this clearly,
Yeah.
because like you can see the paint
Yes,
lines
yes,
on like his
yes.
like his
I thought that
waist
a couple
region and things like
times.
that. But there's a moment at the end when RoboCop shoots Dick and he falls out of the
arms.
yeah, and it's a claymation, man. I don't know if you noticed this. If you look at it as he's going down, it's
so
wild.
bad.
It's so
It's
bad.
so
It's
bad.
like a claymation man, like
Yeah.
like going
his
down.
arms are too
He's so
long, too,
lanky
yeah.
and like it looks so bad, but it's
I
so
mean-
quick that if you saw that in a movie in
mean,
'87, you wouldn't even know.
The toxic waste.
Oh,
Dude.
okay. Can we say
That
scene is
That scene
nuts.
scarred me
It's like,
as
why
a
is that
child.
even in the movie?
It's at a
That's
steel
like-
mill. It's a toxic waste bin at a steel mill.
Like that's something like out of like Toxic Avenger.
And he
Literally.
turns it.
I actually, when
like-
I saw that clip originally, I thought it was from Toxic
Dude,
Avenger.
when
I
he
didn't
looks
realize
at his
that's
fingers,
crazy.
he's like,
His lips all
like I actually like
kill me. Don't
watching,
touch me.
watching Alex Murphy get killed. Like it's brutal, but like I honestly thought it was going to be even brutaler. Like watching his hand get blown off, but like and like they cut away and they're not just showing him like getting absolutely blown apart. Like it's a bit fake, right? Like he's still like
course,
screaming
yeah.
after he's gotten unloaded like maybe 17 times by like
Yeah.
4 12-gauge shotguns. Like you'd be so fucking dead.
It's as gratuitous as you can get. I
Right,
feel like,
but
especially at this time.
I think that's the
No, it
point.
absolutely
So my
is.
wife asked, because I watched this with my wife, she had never seen it, and she's like, "Do you think I'd like this movie?" I'm like, "I have literally no idea." Like it's
Why
so.
don't you just sit
I was
down
like,
and
"Just
find
let's
out."
just watch it." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "It's a satire." Like,
Yeah.
and she laughing the whole time.
What a
but-
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right. That's how I spent my Valentine's Day.
It's a good one if you ask me. Yeah.
But so she asked me at the end, she goes, "Were those effects bad for 1987?" And I'm like, yes and no. Because I think a lot of times with stop motion, you think of the first Terminator, you think of like other instances where stop motion like that is
Right.
used. It's like, or like we just watched Beetlejuice
Yeah.
recently. Like Beetlejuice that's 88 and has that
With the
stop
worms,
motion.
right? Yeah.
So like, no, it's pretty on par for 1987, but they absolutely are doing it in excess on purpose.
Absolutely.
Everything in this movie is done in excess to a comical amount. Because again, that's how a Dutch director is looking at American action movies.
Right.
This movie has the most explosions, the most guns,
The most squibs.
Yeah. It's like if we can do it, there's not a moment. I love the director. Again, Paul Verhoeven. There's not a moment in this movie where the camera is like locked down in a 2-shot. It is just like the camera's whipping, people are moving. All dialogue is like told like on the running between the cage where they keep RoboCop and the cells, and like there's so much movement and action.
Well, and even it's not very dramatic. Like we're not getting a lot of close-ups.
See,
and,
it's
like,
fun. It does feel
long
dramatic
shots.
to me, funnily enough.
But it's
in an overly
stressed.
dramatic
It's not
way.
the same way like Schindler's List is dramatic.
Yeah. It's like
All right, if you want a great double feature, watch RoboCop and then Schindler's List.
But like the camera shots in that, like we're really lingering.
I know what
on
you mean.
people
It's
and-
dramatic. It's like it's satirically dramatic, obviously,
I think
in
that's
RoboCop,
the point.
and it's overdone.
I think like there's that one part where he goes into the warehouse, and we'll talk about Kurtwood Smith and that entire performance. But like,
Red Foreman.
he goes into that warehouse, and you just like shoot, and it's like explosion, and like shot of a guy, squib, fly backwards, and that happens like 10 times in a row.
I'm like, I see you, Tarantino.
In fact, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, no, like, I
It's
see where you got
excessive,
that.
when they're gonna go
violence.
hunt RoboCop and they get like the anti-material rifles or
They're just
whatever,
blowing
and they're
things
just
up.
blowing
It's
things
a
up.
10-minute scene.
Like, and then there's 4 of them.
Right.
Like, there's not
By the way, that
one-
doesn't feel like a waste of a scene either.
no,
Like,
no
that's
recoil on
why-
those things. By the way,
And again,
None.
this is RoboCop. There's only so much. There's probably so many things that have been said, and we're always going to repeat things
Right.
that people are out there. But like there isn't a moment wasted in this movie. Coming back to the runtime,
No,
like it feels everything feels necessary. Every moment of dialogue.
Which is funny because there's so much unnecessary shit in the movie.
100%.
Like those TV scenes, those segments. And
See,
like,
I think they're kind of important because they build
because they
the
build
world.
the world, but they're
Yeah.
not necessary to the plot, is what I'm
Right,
saying.
right,
I would
right,
never
right.
take
No.
a moment of those out because, like, I like that this, like, you can ask yourself, what kind of society would allow a corporation to control the police department and put officers in the line of fire? Like the same society that is brainwashed by a TV program that is literally a guy with a mustache looking in the camera going, "I'd buy that for $1." And everybody watching that show is belly laughing hysterically like it's the funniest
And
thing
everyone's
ever.
watching it.
And everyone's watching.
Yeah,
We're all distracted by these stupid, pointless, like
Bobbles.
boob shows where it's like
Yeah,
you can have both of us. I'd buy that for
And then
$1.
buy Battleship with real uranium for some
Right.
reason, or like
Yeah.
something
Oh,
like
I had
that.
a
Like
big
it's,
laugh at that
there's
one.
so many good ones.
Nukem is the
Ma-
name.
Nukem, right, yeah.
making a Kojima connection at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 4, like that's the last game in the series. Like
Right.
the world has taken like a total downspin, and the PMCs are like running amok. And the beginning of the game is ads, a real world ads for what's going on. The PMCs, like they're advertising like public military corporations, and this reminded me of that. So again, I would imagine again Kojima takes a lot from movies. I feel and Metal Gear Solid 4 was influenced by RoboCop with this. It's like by not really, we're not having characters explain the world in a dramatic way.
Right,
We're
the
just
world
seeing
is,
it.
we're
seeing it.
living in that dystopian 80s future. Can we speaking of storytelling and visuals, can we talk about literally, and I'm not even joking, I wrote it down, one of my favorite scenes in film history is after he dies, after they intubate him and they're getting him, it's his POV becoming RoboCop. And like the switches on, it's the New Year's party, like the way that scene is told, without us seeing like a big long explanation scene of this is how we're going to rebuild him and this is all the things we're going to do.
Right.
You see it from his disjointed point of view, and you get everything you need to know. We saved his arm. Why did we save his arm? Cut his arm off.
Are you fucking insane?
Yeah, take his humanity away, which is weird with the remake. 'Cause They keep
yeah.
the,
They keep the hand.
Yeah,
they keep his hand.
I was like,
Yeah.
I heard that, and I'm like, wait, does he have the hand in this? Because I
No,
know he has it in the remake.
I think he's just a torso and a head.
He's like his lungs, his head, and his hand.
Right.
Literally.
Well, in the remake.
In
but
the
I think
remake,
in
I
this
mean, I'm
one, I
sorry.
think
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just torso and
Yeah,
head.
I think, exactly. I think it's from chest up and his head. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And his brain.
That scene is like a perfect example of showing and not telling.
It 100% is.
Just here is everything you need to know about how he's being created, what that process looks like, without these 20-minute long dialogue scenes over explaining the audience
and
what's
it's not
going on.
it's not serious drama.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it kind
they're
of
having,
is, though. Like, it's
it
funny.
is, but like
is,
they're
like-
having a New Year's party in their lab, and like some drunk scientist comes up and kisses
Yeah.
them. you know.
And it's like, does he know what's going on? And then the guy's like, well, we'll wipe his memory. Don't worry about it and all that stuff.
I can see this scene today, and it's like it's the same shot, but like things are going fast.
Well, we're gonna talk. Well, dude, and that's why I'm excited to talk about the new RoboCop
serious
because there's a lot
conversations.
in there, I think.
Right,
and like
it takes itself really seriously.
Yeah.
Right, which I assume again. I've seen the remake once.
Yeah.
I assume the remake is going to take
Which
this
it's
very
funny because I think
seriously.
this movie does
Kinda
know.
why I don't like it.
I know. I think this movie knows when to take itself seriously though, when it needs to though. Because even in that moment, like
the cop,
and to a degree,
most of the cop shit, like with the black
well, it feels earnest.
sergeant.
But even like the stuff
he's
when
pretty
he's
serious.
Yeah.
right. But even the stuff like when he's getting like trying to be saved, like when he's getting incubated, that whole scene when they're trying to revive him is fucking
His
visceral.
eyes are just
And-
locked open, and he's having these memories of his family
and all
his
this shit's
children.
being shoved into him, and I'm like, oh, this is like
It's a
making me
destruction of his
uncomfortable.
humanity. That's the whole idea, is that he is no longer a human being, whether it's through the police department, through the medical, but really it's like the corporation OCP, which stands for Omni Consumer Products, which is hilarious.
I
But
love the logo. By
Yeah,
the way.
it's like this
OCP,
crazy.
yeah.
No, it's the O, the C, and the P.
Yeah.
Just kind of
But
like,
it's a destruction
like
of his
Dharma
humanity.
initiative
It feels
looking
like
thing.
Dharma, right?
Well, but even so, that scene.
Destruction of human beings. Like, I am no longer a human, I'm a product.
Right.
That's him losing himself. His memories are fading, and they're just ripping him apart on that table.
And that scene kind of confused because I thought that was them like before I watched this, like getting to it, I was like, oh, this is them preparing him for surgery.
No.
But like, no, it's them actually trying to save. Like, it is like the doctors do try to save
Yeah,
him.
see, I was like,
So
I'm
I
like,
was
he
actually-
got shot in the head. Like, what are we doing?
that kind of.
That-
I guess
I
they
thought
have
that-
to just
and
like
they
you know
even
it's
said
a
they're like,
contract.
we're done.
Well, I
You
think it's
know?
more like they have to say and I guess they do. Like,
Right.
They
They
have to say
have
they
to make an
tried to
attempt.
save him.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
do it. That's in his contract, and then they just take his body. And like, it is funny to think to me about this. Like,
Bob
yeah, he
says
just
that.
saved.
He signed a waiver when he joined the police force.
Yeah, like, we just do whatever the fuck we want. He
He's
signed
legally
his-
dead.
Yeah.
We don't care.
And you like again, it's just such an interesting choice to me to not even show his wife and kids. But and I think it's the right choice.
I agree.
To just not even cut to his kids and wife and like what's going on with them. Like, and you know
Right.
that's the choice that
We're not
like,
meandering in that detail. Yeah.
we're just choosing to ignore that. Like they've moved on, and like
Right.
now he
Right,
has to
they're
find his
gone.
humanity again.
Right.
It's just it is very interesting.
again in a different in a remake that I don't remember that was actually made, but in the remake that I'm making up in my head.
I was about to say, like you know
The-
what a
the-
remake would look
Right,
like.
they're meandering in the family stuff a lot. And
Definitely.
I
The
don't
wife
remember.
tries to break in and she can't get in.
Right,
And
let
they-
me see him,
They're
let me
like,
see
I
him.
want to see he's my husband. I want to see. Like, we don't need any.
I
of that.
like
We
the
don't
I like
need
the
it.
scene with like the gun where he kind of like you know at first you think he like makes up the story. He's like, nah, I just think it's cool, and he's like, no, that was real, and he got embarrassed, and then he like twisted it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, that was interesting because I didn't know that.
Well, and I think it's kind of it's like he thinks he wants to do it for his
he's
son,
kind
of course.
a family man.
But they're
kind of showing he's like a bit of a family.
He
And I
loved
do
his family.
like that after he becomes RoboCop, that he does still keep the gun spinning, and
Yeah.
that's like that's his partners, because he gets shot up, and then like his partner's there and watches it, but like. That's her connection, that he is still
Like, oh,
a
that's
human.
Nan. Well, and also that
he's
it's just
in there.
that it's Alex. Like he's
Yeah.
like she's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And then he does the spin, and
I
she's
love-
like,
there's a
she's like
subconscious
Murphy.
part of humanity that is still in there, that he remembers that he can spin the gun.
Nancy is her name, right?
Nancy Lewis.
She
Yeah.
is such an interesting character to me in the way of like this is
She's
an
in the
80s
game,
movie.
right?
Yeah, she is. Have you heard of the game at all?
I have heard of the game. I have not played
It's
it. I've
very.
heard
It's a
the
lot of
game.
fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There's like there's like a 1.5.
I
that
remember
came
you
out.
talking like specifically about her.
Yeah, and I think like just her in this movie is so interesting, especially for the time. Like she is as non-sexual of a character as you can get in the way of like they don't like
you get
they,
one
I feel like
titty,
they're
though.
very
You get
much
one titty right in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
you do.
But like I'm saying, like their
Not hers,
their
but-
relationship, and even by the end, like
Very
it's
platonic.
very plutonic and very partner. And it's like I'm trying to save you, friend.
I will
like,
say
that
this.
doesn't feel like a thing that you see in the '80s very often.
But here's the thing. I do think that was an attempt to make a very strong, like, oh, we're gonna get together, non-sexual
Yeah.
character. However,
There's
I
no
still,
romance
I
in this
still
at all.
think no, there's not. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
still think though her portrayal is a little bit dated.
Oh,
I do.
100%
At one point,
is,
she
yeah.
like looks down and gets distracted by a dude's dick,
Of
and
course.
you're like. So I
Oh,
think
does she?
Yeah, that's like when she's got the guy up and he's like, oh, you want me to?
She's like, I gotta
this
zip up,
away?
and then she's like, yeah.
And she looks down like, I do think that this was an attempt to make someone. I think that this was a role that could have been done a lot better. She could have been a lot more badass. I think a
100%.
lot more about who was Arnold's Maria. I can't remember her
Linda
name.
Hamilton?
No, in Total Recall.
I don't
The
know.
bad woman, like his wife that turns out to be
Not Sharon Stone, the other one.
Right,
The
his,
one that
like-
he comes. I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name, but,
he,
I know
he's
he's like the good girl.
Yeah, like
yeah.
that's a better version of this character. But I do think this was a true attempt. I will say I did notice that there's no women other than her who are portrayed in a positive light in this movie. But again, I think that's intentional.
There's really not a lot of women in the movie in main roles, period.
But
besides
again,
Lewis.
thinking of like not just the time that it was made, because I think that you can criticize the movie and say, oh, there's not enough strong female characters in the role in the movie. But again, I find it to be intentional because this is a parody of 80s action movies. Like the prostitutes that Bob is doing cocaine with,
Right.
The women on the I'd Buy That for $1 TV show. Like, I think we could criticize the movie for that, but I don't think that we should, because I think it's intentional based on the fact that I'm going to stick to this is a satire. Yeah. This is a parody film. This is not meant as an actual action movie, but it just all happens to be a great action movie.
And I also think, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, compare it to like T2 or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe like Terminator 1, just to put in the 80s.
Which
like,
was before
two totally
this.
different movies.
Definitely.
But like they're both quintessential 80s movies. This is like, I think when you think of the 80s, top 10 movies of the 1980s, I think
least in the
RoboCop
action film.
I mean, 100%. Yeah.
is in there.
I agree.
Yeah, like it's
I think this is
quintessential to the era.
Because I think, again, it's shining a light and pointing a finger back at itself, being like, this is how excessive and goofy and over-the-top 80s action movies and 80s sci-fi is really
And again,
are.
I think it toes that line so perfectly that, like, if it did go a little bit too far in one direction and in the satire or its seriousness,
Correct.
it would be off balance and not be as great of a movie.
Which is why I think it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I agree
that
with
goes
you.
back to my, it's perfect.
I completely agree with you on that. I really do.
We haven't talked about RoboCop, the suit, the look.
I mean, we'll
my
get into yeah.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I never noticed the iridescent blue purple on his armor. I thought
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just,
Well, so, and then
I thought it was
3,
just
he
pure
turns, like,
civil.
silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty tough for,
Was
like,
the
filming.
jetpack is the third one? Where
Yeah,
the
that's the
jetpack?
third one.
Yeah.
And that's not even Peter Weller by then. But
Which is a shame.
yeah, no, it is.
Wait,
but
Peter Weller's not in the third
not in the
movie?
third
He's in
one.
the second one, but
He's in
not
the
the
second
third
one, but not the third.
Oh my god, it's gonna. So Peter Weller,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
is
should
he
talk about
is
it.
he known at this point? What has he actually done? Like, what is he known for other than
So he was in
RoboCop?
Sons of Anarchy. I know he was a
He
recurring
does
on
the
there.
voice of Batman in The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he
animated
does.
film.
He does. I
Yeah.
mean, he was definitely in things post this.
Yeah.
Like, was he like a major motion picture movie star
No,
after this?
I don't
Probably
think
not.
so.
Right,
But
and
like,
does he, like, when you say Peter Weller, like, what are the top three? Is really what
RoboCop's there, I think.
obviously, yeah.
Can I
Obvious.
just say that so I know that I did a little research. You might have found this too.
Yeah, please.
He worked with
You're
a mime coach
Yeah.
and like a performance coach to get that look down. There are moments of this film, especially when I first saw it, that I didn't think it does not read as a person in a costume. As cheesy as some of the effects are, and I think that suit on
it
anyone
looks
else.
legit.
And especially with the sound effects, there's this thing he does where he'll turn his head
Yeah.
and then move his shoulders. And just that move really sells that this is not a guy in a costume. This is an android.
It's a robot man. Yeah.
I believe
Cyborg
this performance.
would be the correct term.
You're right,
He's a
cyborg. This
and
is
they do use that word.
This is a fantastic physical performance.
Yeah.
Like this is
He sells it.
anyone else in that suit would have looked goofy.
Would have looked silly.
It doesn't look silly. It
No.
looks real.
Well,
Yeah.
and even it's so funny. This is one of the first, at least that I can think of, and we've talked about this before, Gooch, like a masked performance. Like
Yeah,
this is like
yeah.
he's wearing
You're
the mask
seeing
for
his mouth.
90%
Yeah.
of this movie.
It looks like Batman.
And even
Yeah.
like there's great mouth acting going
Yeah.
on. When he gets angry, he's like he really has to sell it
And
just
I
through
mean the
here.
scene where
and it's
he's freaking out with the dreams and the
Yeah.
and the gif.
like it's so, and he has to do a lot with just this piece
like
of his
he's,
face.
He's overacting because he has to.
Because he's in this big suit, and it never feels like the suit's wearing him.
No.
It really feels like he has total control over every movement, and just the way he moves his arms, the way he moves his legs. This performance is. And then we'll get to RoboCop 3, I guess, but like when they put
Yeah, I
someone
guess
else
we
in
will.
that suit, you're like, oh, it's
Also,
a guy
it
in
doesn't,
a suit.
and it also doesn't. It's the same suit, so it's not built for that new man that they're putting in the
Yeah,
suit.
it's-
So it
yeah.
doesn't fit him
They use
correctly.
the same suit.
Yeah, because they're not going to make a whole. Dude, this suit costs like $1 million. They
That's
said like
crazy.
500 to
It's the
$200.
best effect. The
wild.
suit's the best effect in the
It's
movie.
amazing, and it
It's
was
the
being
best effect
built
in the movie.
literally until the first day of production. Like the guy I can't remember what's his name, Rob Botton, like was working on it to the last minute, and they were apparently adding on a bunch of like kind of things, and by the end he was like, we should just go with the original design I had. Like, it's so much better.
Shoulders
It's the broad shoulders. It's
the turning.
even like the hydraulics on the back of
Yes.
his foot.
Yeah,
Like
of
there's
his
so
leg.
much, the way the gun pops out of his thigh. Like, come on.
And there's so many cool tricks. Like, I don't know if you do this. He can't, when he's driving the police car, which is so comical. 'cause he
It's
doesn't
so
have, like,
funny.
a RoboCop
It looks
police car.
so like
I
should
do.
we
I
have
have
like
a fun fact
cooler
about that, yeah.
vehicle.
But he can't wear the bottom
yeah.
legs.
So he only has half the suit on. He's wearing boxer shorts.
There's one
underneath it.
part
Nice.
where he gets out of the car where he's at the gas station, but he's already like out of the car with the
That's
legs.
so that's how they would do it. They would film him
It's a
halfway out,
trick.
or
Yeah.
they'd show his feet like being put down, and then he'd like kind
Yeah.
of stand up out of the thing.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's so many cool tricks in this
Yeah.
movie to get you to buy it and believe it. It just works.
Well,
I don't know
I think
why.
that's
it
a
just
product
works.
of the time too, in
Yeah.
the way of like back then you kind of had to just figure it the fuck out
Yeah.
on set sometimes. Like truly, you couldn't just
Right.
think
If we
about
want
it
to
later.
blow
There's
up a
no
car, we
figure
gotta
it
blow
out.
up a fucking
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
It's as
And it's
simple
like,
as that.
all right,
never
well,
build a suit like this. Like
we're gonna build
this
this suit. We're not gonna be touching it up with CGI once we're in post production. What is on screen is going to be in the movie. Make it look perfect.
There is
And that's what they
one
did.
moment that I caught this time around. I don't want to harp on. I don't want to nitpick.
There's, of
I don't
course,
wanna do
no,
that.
but yeah.
There's a couple moments where I do see like seams.
Yes,
so to speak, in
100,
the suit.
yeah.
And I didn't catch that, and I watch it on this Blu-ray copy is what I own. I don't have the 4K. But there were a couple moments where I'm like, some movies belong on VHS. This is one of them.
Or even
You know
just
what
in
I mean?
that,
Where-
even
I
just in
think
that
the
VHS
original Star
quality.
Wars movies are
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
that way, too.
100%.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on a DVD in that original quality. Like
Yeah.
if you're not trying to like some things don't need an upscale.
This,
like and
this
stuff
is
like
one
that.
of those things where I feel like the more you upscale it, the more you're gonna see like
The
kinda how
scenes.
the sausage is made.
Well, it's
right?
like I know I watch what are they? Fuck, the YouTube channel with the two guys, the movie
Corridor
channel.
Digital.
Not Corridor, the movie review channel. Why am I forgetting?
Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media. And they're talking. I watch all of their.
Nice.
I've
shout out
never-
Red Letter Media.
Shout out
man.
Red Letter Media.
Oh
They
my
need
God.
the publicity.
Yeah, right. They need the
But
publicity.
so I'll watch all their Star Trek stuff all the time, and I've never watched a lick of Star Trek as far as the shows go.
Right,
and they
right.
talk about the 4K restorations of that.
So
and
they had
just
there's a great thing about that where it's in season 3 of Star Trek: The Original Series. It's called the Tholian Web,
Yeah.
where they put Kirk, Spock, and like these in McCoy in these big suits, and on a they put
Yeah.
mesh to do like a glass face. And on a TV in 1969 and on a VHS tape,
You're not seeing any of that.
doesn't look like mesh, but as soon as you blow it up to 4K, you're
And
like,
enhance it.
it's like, okay, now we can see that it's mesh.
you start seeing things on the set that you should not be seeing.
Because it was never intended to
be seen in
this
that quality.
Right,
So
right.
like
So,
that's what
this
you start
is
to get.
one of those movies where I'm like, I kind of wish I was just watching a DVD copy of it, and that sounds crazy.
No.
And I'm gonna get roasted for that one, but like, some of this doesn't need to be upscaled.
Well, and I will say,
I- it
watching
makes
it on the
sense.
4K, thankfully, at least for me, it did not. There was one scene where you see like his groin area with the with the arm with the piece of armor, and you see the pain.
when
and that where,
there
it's
was
where it really
one
stuck
where
out.
he's doing that freak out
Yeah, you
moment,
can see the
his
scene.
neck.
Yeah, you see the
and
scene.
I was like, damn it, like if listen, I'm not a huge fan of like going in and like touching up films with
Right,
special effects,
sure.
but like shit like that, someone could just draw a little
Right.
black line on in post
and
you know,
like
just
make
go-
it look like it's
just
connected.
go-
Yeah.
There was one thing when I noticed when I guess he had an arm up and maybe like was stretching and you can kind of see the black suit.
Yeah,
that's
underneath.
on it. But I'm like,
Who cares?
It didn't
Who cares?
break. It
What do
didn't.
we-
And
it
that's
didn't
also
break
with your
immersion.
No,
for
not
me.
at all.
Can we?
Yeah.
All right. So in contrast to that, and we're jumping ahead, but I want to talk about when he takes the mask off. That is some of the
Yeah.
best makeup I've ever seen in a film.
Especially, yeah, I was gonna say, let alone for the
It's- no,
80s.
period.
But yeah, period.
That
yeah,
it literally looks like his face is stretched over.
You
a
can't
robotic
see a
skull.
seam.
It's perfect. Like you could tell that they spent a lot of time and a lot of money.
I would like to know where his face ends and begins.
and I'm assuming it's like
the
right
vest.
before where it starts to slope up and
like,
around.
It literally looks like it's stretched. You can
It's so
see,
perfect.
like it just looks incredible. The neck, the back of the neck, like
It's phenomenal.
once he takes that mask off and he's mask off for the rest of the movie, that look, how he looks, and it just
Well,
it's,
and
it's brilliant. It's
proportionally,
brilliant.
it looks perfect. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't, like we're saying, it doesn't look like a man in a suit. It looks like that's just part of his head.
Yes.
It doesn't look like there's a helmet sitting on top of his head.
No.
It's so perfectly seamed in that it just creates that
And
illusion.
every time I watch it, I'm like, can I see where that line is, where his face is? I can't.
Even on a 4K restoration, I couldn't
can't
see it at all.
that line.
I couldn't.
And that is, they don't do, and they do think that, I'm going to rant about CGI, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I do think that there is a lost art when you can just do everything in post.
Yeah.
The idea that they would have to spend hours upon hours upon hours in a makeup chair to perfect that, and it looks as good as it does on screen, is a testament to how hard and shitty it used to be to make movies. Like, it was a tough
Once
job, and it was
again,
an art there. Now
they had
you
to figure it out.
Now it's just, okay, we're just going to, put you in a green screen suit
Yeah.
and we'll just add it later.
Yeah.
Right.
It dates it, in my opinion. Like, it looked like, I think the RoboCop remake comes out in 2014.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It looks like 2014, where that suit with the makeup, at least in that scene at the end of this one, does not necessarily look like 1987.
Yeah.
It just looks like a fucking cyborg.
Well, and I'm curious to watch RoboCop, the new one again too, because I haven't seen it in a while. And I know in that like the top half of it is a real suit, but his legs are so skinny that like they couldn't put that they had to CGI it. And
he's faster in that.
he's
one,
definitely
too.
he's
a
much
whole
more.
different-
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that.
But
when we
just
get
in
to it,
general, the effect. We've been talking about the effects and the makeup, and I just think that like for what this is at the time that it came out, this is incredible. It's an incredible feat of filmmaking to make this film look as good as it does. My wife did ask me, she's like, "Is it meant?" Like, because I said that earlier, like, is it meant to look this cheesy? I'm like, yes and no. These are good effects for the time, but they're done in a way that is so over the top, so excessive. That's the point. I love the explosions. I love all the gunfire. I love that it's the biggest, the best guns, and like,
well, and it might be my nostalgia,
I
but
just love it.
I think all that fucking stop motion still holds up so well.
I like
I think,
it. I like
I
stop
think it
motion.
looks so. Even like
I
when
like
when
stop
Ed
motion.
209 falls down the stairs,
That's so funny.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
And you can tell that scene, like, that is being played for laughs. He,
Correct.
Yeah,
he
correct.
tries to step on that step,
Correct.
like 3 or 4 times.
fall
like,
down and it's like
The idea that
Yeah.
they put all this money into building this like super cop robot
And it can't walk down
down
steps.
steps
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like again
it's
the
perfect.
corporate think of just like, I don't know, build it, make it work. Like, why would we think to make it walk down the steps? We made this big piece of shit robot. It can't even walk down the steps.
Amazing.
It's so funny.
And again, just getting back to some of the world stuff, I think is just like the way they build this world is hilarious to me because like they're in the club
Yeah.
and he arrests
That's
the
such a
man.
good scene.
And it's so good. and
There's
the
like-
way he
and there's
takes
no
his gun,
question about it.
No, there's nothing. He like rips the gun out of his hand, then the one guy just catches the gun and just kind of keeps going. Still, like that's just what old Detroit is right now.
Let's
This is
talk
what they're
about
doing.
Ray Wise. I can't remember his character's name in this. Ray Wise is a brilliant character.
Is he like the
actor.
second
Yeah.
in command? Yeah, I feel
he's-
like I've seen him in so much.
I met him last year at
Really?
the Mahoning Drive-In. He did.
Yeah.
There was a Twin Peaks David Lynch night. I have a poster signed by him. I have a picture with him.
Nice.
That man has an encyclopedic knowledge of every film he's ever been in.
That's so cool.
So he was doing a Q&A and like people were asking about Tim and Eric. They were asking about How I Met Your Mother. They were asking about Twin Peaks, and he was talking about RoboCop as well. And like he's in his 70s, I believe, at this point. Super cool guy, super nice. I told him when I met him because we did the Q&A first, and we did a signing. And I have a picture with him as well. But like, I was like, you have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything you've ever done. I was like, that was one of the best Q&As I've ever seen. He goes, really? I'm like, other people do films and it's like a bit for hire and they don't even remember what they did.
Right.
They just zone out.
You can tell. Yeah,
Ray
I would
Wise
agree.
was
He's there.
He's locked in. He has a small part, but it's so memorable because when RoboCop's dragging him away and he has like this crazy face
when he grabs the
Yeah.
hand.
Ray,
It's so good.
Ray Wise is a brilliant character actor. I love seeing him in this. He has a small
I
role.
think
It's super memorable.
all of his minions are so memorable.
Yes.
Like honestly,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
remember
they all
every
kinda
single
stick
one
out.
the
of them.
guy the white Russian guy with the crazy beard, the
Yeah.
black guy who has to zip up his pants and she gets distracted. They all these crazy character moments.
Yeah.
Kurtwood Smith, obviously.
Let's talk about Kurtwood
So,
Smith.
Bitches leave.
besides,
That was pretty good, right?
besides that 70s show and this.
No idea.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like,
oh,
I'm like-
Rambo 3.
Like, I'm just like, I wanted, thank God this came back
That
up.
80s show.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going home. Yes,
Everyone, I love how, like, the hair.
yeah.
And the balding.
Yeah.
And like how like a lot of the characters are just like it's like
You said
1980s and
Yeah.
they're balding.
People just did were the way
Right,
they were.
it's so different today.
Right.
It's
It
so
is.
men are so much more concerned with losing their
Right.
hair. But like most of the major characters in this film are like balding, and it's funny.
Yeah,
And
they just,
he is one of them.
And they're probably 30, by the way.
Yes.
Like 31. You know
I
what
think
I mean?
Kurtwood Smith was 17 when he filmed
Right,
this.
correct. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Kurtwood Smith is a brilliant villain in this.
He's-
And there's a couple villains, like Dick Jones is a villain. Clarence Bodiger, that's Kurtwood Smith,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the main like bad guy working with OCP, which is a great reveal and really
Yeah.
not surprising at all.
Of course.
I didn't really think about it. To be quite honest
One
with
character I found kind of odd on a rewatch is the old man. Like
So
is he like a nice guy or is he a bad guy?
This is why I don't like the second one as much, because in the second one they beef up his character
and make him like a bad guy.
right.
I
In
remember
this one,
that.
he's kind of just like a doddering old CEO.
So I thought he
with
was
his
like
minions kind of.
I thought
running
Dick
the show.
Jones was the dad or the son of the old man.
no, he's
no.
just like the second in
Yeah, he's
line.
like-
Like
yeah,
he's been
he's
working there for
Interesting,
long.
because like it kind of like makes
Dick
it
Jones. Sorry.
I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones.
Dude, the way he throws him around that factory,
Amazing.
is so
Did you
good.
notice in that scene where that actor who plays Bob is brilliant? I've
Dude,
seen him in a ton of stuff.
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's very recognizable.
So then when he's talking shit on Dick Jones and Dick is taking his shit
in the bathroom, yeah.
literally he gets out of that stall and doesn't wash his hands. I don't know if you've noticed this. And so he's like threatening him. He's like, oh yeah,
And he's touching his hair.
and he grabs him by the hair and yanks
He's
him
like,
down.
what the fuck? Like,
He doesn't wash his hands.
I didn't even
It's
That makes it even more
insane
villainous.
power play, like this corporate power play. Like there's so many stories
I
going
love
on.
how the bathroom slowly empties as everyone realizes
Like, he's talking
everyone's
shit
like,
on Dick Jones, and they're like,
fuck
"Get
out of
get
here.
get
And they're all literally running.
Yeah, like they're pushing each other. I like they're like, welcome to the executive lounge. And it's just
Yeah.
like this
Oh,
bathroom. They're
gosh.
all like just shitting and pissing. It's just
It's
disgusting.
amazing.
It's disgusting. And they're all just like
I think the
talking.
best part is like
There's a
they're,
ticker
they're
on
having,
in front of the
they're
urinal.
having like a full blown conversation. I
While
was like,
pissing.
I hate talking in the
No,
bathroom.
but there's like a ticker that's like
Yeah,
stock
yeah,
prices
yeah.
in front of the urinal.
Yeah.
And then like Dick Jones comes out of the stall. Everyone clears out. He doesn't wash his hands and grabs him by the hair. It's this crazy power
Even when he's
play.
talking, he's like, I even called people assholes.
Yeah,
Like
but we
the
always
thing-
knew there was a line.
Yeah, so a bit of
Bob.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's so
That
good.
whole idea of that there's like a number two behind the old man at the corporation. That's Dick Jones, and
Yeah.
he's next in line to take over the corporation. And here comes some hotshot upstart of I
Doesn't
have
give
a
a
better
fuck.
idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go around the normal channels. I'm gonna disrespect the line of succession, and I'm gonna pitch myself directly to the old man.
Do you think he would have killed Bob if he didn't insult him in the bathroom?
No.
I didn't think so. I think because
No.
he was like, listen, I get it. You got to play your hand, and you did it. I was enough to respect that.
Yeah.
But you crossed a fucking line. Like,
Right.
it's such a good
Like,
moment.
because you insulted me, and
Yeah.
I love that scene. Clarence Bodiger doesn't say a word.
Mm.
He takes the grenade pin out with his tongue. He puts the thing
Impossible,
down.
by the way.
He
Not even with your
doesn't-
teeth.
He doesn't say a fucking word, and he's the scariest thing on screen.
And he just
So-
leaves, walks out. Yeah.
walks right
the
out.
way he like nonchalantly closes the door, it's so good. Again,
Kurtwood
I
Smith
could watch
is a-
this
it's a
movie
brilliant
80
performance.
fucking times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's so fun.
Like
Yeah.
like I don't know if we've explicitly said that, but like this movie is fun.
I don't think we
It's
said that
very
enough.
entertaining.
I love
Such a
this
quick
movie.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, it knows what it's trying to be.
I think it kind of stretches when when he gets not captured, he gets fucked up.
I agree.
And
It
then
does- yeah,
Lewis
a
kind
tiny
of
bit.
brings him there.
Yeah,
and it
there's a
kind
bit
of gets
of
a little
I
long
do.
right there.
I think you need that moment of calm where he reveals his face and has that.
I do
time
like
with
that
it.
scene where he takes the drill and he
You aren't going to like what you see or something.
and he's able to see his reflection, and like his memories are flooding. I'm getting chills. Like his memories are flooding back to him, and like he's human underneath all of
Well,
this.
and I really like the scene when you see his eye again for the first time, and it's like, oh, he's back. Like he's there.
and,
like-
and you can see his eye darting
and there's like a
around.
bit of fear.
yeah, the
Like,
crack in the
yeah,
in his
it's a
visor.
But
great
again,
shot.
it's chipping away at that. I keep using the word corporate because that's what it is.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
chipping away at that corporate exterior to show the humanity underneath. And there's a great line where he goes for Dick Jones, and that's directive.
Every time you say Dick Jones, it's so
I
funny.
work for Dick Jones.
It's just such a dumb name.
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Dick
But
Jones.
an
like,
80s name,
when he
too.
finally confronts Dick Jones and the political statement of you have a secret directive as an officer of the law because we own you, uphold the innocent, follow the law, all that, but it's like also the law can't touch members of OC.
Yeah.
I liked in the
And I
beginning
love how
how
it's-
they showed his directives.
I
and
actually
then,
never
like,
noticed
the
that
fourth
before.
hidden
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one's
It's
the
like, oh,
hidden
what's
directive.
that? You know?
Yeah.
Dick, you're fired. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The voice is so good, man.
Nice shooting there, son.
Oh God,
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. It's also
yeah.
it's also really easy to mimic.
it is. It's a good, nice
It's not
low tone.
it's not
Peter
hard.
Weller-
It's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger where like
Yeah.
you gotta be special
yeah.
to do that one.
Peter Weller is the only person I can imagine in this role because of how physical he truly
and
is.
he does come back for the games, which is awesome.
I did know
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's
so-
pretty cool.
I don't know, guys. Anything else I wanted to say on the review side? I was going to maybe roll into the fun facts here.
Sure.
But is there anything else we want to talk to before we get into that?
I'm
I know
checking my
we could go
notes.
on and on. I think honestly.
I wrote down things like, oh, okay, I do want to get to one thing, but like this movie is huge, and I know that we've talked about this already, but like the amount of it's endless explosions. I wrote endless explosions, contrasted by deep emotional scenes contemplating the meaning of humanity. Like, I think that's what it is. 'cause
That's it.
you-
And also, a man gets his dick shot off.
and through a woman's skirt.
Yeah.
And
I wonder who
a guy
thought of
turns
that.
into a
We'll get
toxic
into that.
waste.
Yeah.
monster.
When he turns into like a milky stew
Yeah.
and just goes all over
gets
his
splashed.
car, I wanted to throw up the first time I saw. Oh, dude, so terrible.
I just think that the movie and the excessiveness of the movie is what I love about it. I do want to again just for anyone who's like looking to watch this and they're like this seems really goofy, it's really over the top. Yes.
100%.
It is goofy. It is over the top.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
And I hate to say that.
I mean,
but
we say
they
that all.
No, it really
really
is.
We say that all the
don't
time.
make movies like this anymore.
They don't.
Like the closest thing you'd get is like this is really pulling Top Gun Maverick, where like Top Gun Maverick felt to me like
Because
I'm like,
that's a
this
legacy
is so
sequel.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Right, it is a legacy sequel, but this is so entertaining. Like it's fun. Like I'm like fucking cackling.
I
like
can't wait to watch it
like
again.
an idiot. Like I'm watching scenes in RoboCop and I'm laughing. You know, you don't get that with action movies.
The
anymore.
last thing I want to talk about is the hostage scene.
Oh yeah.
What was you
When- with the
pointed
mayor, right?
with the mayor? He's got
Yeah.
the mayor hostage.
Yeah.
You pointed out a line that I never caught. Don't jerk me off, because if you jerk me off,
When
I'll
people
come.
when people jerk me off, I'll come.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Who says
who
it?
writes?
It's
these
the guy with the. It's not a mini Uzi, by the way. It's a regular.
It's the guy.
Uzi.
It's the hostage taker. It's the
Yeah.
guy that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I-
yeah.
that scene,
Don't jerk me off. I do remember that.
that scene is when he looks at the thermal camera. For
Yeah,
like
I
a
got-
split
yeah, yeah.
second. I guess I'm still in.
No,
some
it's
fun
okay.
facts,
Well,
but,
no,
like,
I love it.
That they had to paint like.
So I thought they're body stockings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
so,
what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're basically.
It's
so
not
instead of
thermal?
getting.
No, because
it would
they don't-
cost so much money to get a
So
thermal
they did
camera.
like a cheap guerrilla style filmmaking of just like literally put them in bodysuits. For
like
that
painted that.
half a second shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, the amount
So
of detail,
unnecessary.
the world building, the texture of this world is so interesting to do
We're
that.
gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
That was the motto. And you just don't see it anymore. You
love
don't.
it. No.
And I do hate it. Sounds so
everyone's got a
old.
plan
You
with
know,
everything.
they don't make these things like they used to.
They
you know, like
really
but they don't. They
make
don't.
movies like this.
And again,
also,
that's
nice
why
Godzilla -1 poster. Sorry, I
fantastic.
just noticed that, and I have to point it out
it's just some good ones,
because
man.
some movies they do make which are fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
some-
one of
Some
them.
of them
somehow-
come through every once in a
Yeah,
while.
every now and
for
again
sure.
you get a Godzilla -1 in there where you're like, okay, they
Yeah.
do make movies like this.
Yeah.
But it's rare.
It's interesting because you think this would be not easy to copy, but like, is the formula like
Well,
seemingly simple?
So
like,
what I'm
apparently
interested
not.
to talk about, even with with the reboot, like there are elements that I like about it. I do think it fails in a lot of regards, but I think
I like the subversion of him starting off as human.
that's what I can
becoming more
appreciate that they
machine.
were like, all right, well, we have to do something different. Like, we're not going to just redo this again. We
Yeah.
can't do that.
Right,
So
they
let's try and
definitely
make a
can't.
bit more of a sincere kind of jab at it.
like
which I
exactly
think
how you
works.
think a remake would go.
And I
Yeah.
think it works in some respects, and I think it fails in others. But
I
we'll
am
get into
interested
that
to talk
when we
about it,
talk
yeah.
about
All
that.
right, I'm so much less interested to talk about RoboCop 2 and 3, especially.
I am a little bit too, but three I don't
is-
remember as much. That's why I'm more interested to talk about it.
Like it's so funny because this is the height.
Two, I remember-
the first episode is just the height, and we're just gonna go downhill.
mean,
Two,
but
I
for
remember
real.
loving, but it's very much a retread in a lot
It's
of
a
ways.
retread and it's a parody of a parody. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's-
like
Right.
Paul
yeah.
Verhoeven not returned to
No,
direct.
no. He
it
was
has
done
a very
after this,
different
yeah.
tone. It is Peter Weller. It is the old man
Yeah.
from OCP, but the tone is different. I hate that it starts off with him being RoboCop
Right,
again.
it's just it kind of resets a lot, and we'll get
Yeah.
into it. It makes some weird choices. in my
This
opinion.
didn't need a sequel. It doesn't need a TV show.
Yeah.
It could use a video game. I mean, the video game.
Yeah. And the
video game is
But,
fucking awesome.
But
And-
it doesn't
and
need to
it
be
took
a
like
s-
what 40
Right.
years.
It doesn't need to be a
Has to happen.
series. Is my point.
Right.
This is not one of those movies where like I don't need
They
Total
caught
Recall
lightning in a
2.
bottle.
Right. Like, and you don't need just because something is great doesn't mean it needs a second.
Well,
one.
here's the thing. Terminator got a second one, and
it was better.
I was going to say, and it was
better.
better.
It
So
was
it's
a
like,
better movie.
especially at that
There-
time.
Yeah.
There was proof that like doing a sequel could have
Correct.
benefited
There was
you.
logic
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
There was, yeah. For
Star
sure.
Wars.
Yeah.
Which again is a better. Empire Strikes Back is a better
Absolutely.
movie than
Than
New
New
Hope.
Hope,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
100%.
but they didn't set out to let's make a better RoboCop. It's almost like let's make fun of the first RoboCop.
Or let's just do it again, or
Yeah.
even in certain ways.
in some
like,
ways, it feels like Gremlins 2. In some ways,
yeah,
it
That's
feels
like Taika
retread.
Waititi with Thor: Love and Thunder. Like
Yeah.
Ragnarok worked. Let's do it again.
Which
Didn't
is
work.
that
and
is
took it to
that
an
is
nth
a
degree. Actually, that is
perfect-
actually a good.
That's
analogy.
actually a perfect analogy for RoboCop
Yeah.
1 and 2. We'll get
Yeah.
into RoboCop 2 another day.
Yeah.
We're not here to be sad. We're here to celebrate
Trio, let's
a
have
freaking beautiful movie.
let's have some fun.
Let's finish off with some fun facts, guys.
Give us
All
some
right.
fun facts.
So let's start with the costume. It was designed by special effects supervisor Rob Bottin and took anywhere from 8 to 10 hours for Weller to suit up. It was heavy, hot, and bulkier than he anticipated. This caused him to have to take a few extra days and stop production to basically relearn his movements. So, like Evan mentioned, he worked with a mime guy, basically on movements and to try and appear very robotic. But it was so big and bulky where he was just like, I'm not prepared for this. I need a few days to figure it out.
He's not a big dude either. Like,
No,
he's
he's
actually
not.
a pretty slender dude in this,
Yeah.
and I think he needs to be that slender to fit in that suit. So, like, if you put Arnold Schwarzenegger in that suit,
Right. It's going to look so bulky.
Right.
In
It's
a
gonna
stupid
look
way.
like-
He doesn't need this.
No, he
suit.
doesn't need the suit. So yeah, the field of view of the helmet was limited at best, and on top of that, he could barely hear a damn thing. He had
I bet.
He had like cold tubes pumped in between sets and stuff like that. He was sweating his ass off.
Dude,
in
he
it.
probably couldn't smell like his
Yeah,
nose.
no,
like,
it's-
interesting that he's so sweaty and uncomfortable because, like, what you see with the mouth, he's got no beard stubble, no zits, no blemish. Like
He's never sweating, really,
Like,
it looks-
the
yeah.
makeup really looks like perfect.
It does, especially around the chin area
Yes.
where it does not feel like there's a seam really at all.
Again,
or the
like,
seam looks natural and it looks like it should be there.
Again, it looks like his like face is part of this helmet.
Yeah.
And like and that plays to how much of his humanity is actually in there. We find that out later.
Right.
But it looks really good.
I do like when he takes the helmet off, he becomes much more human. Because that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
how is like what's
Once
left
he
of
sees
him?
himself and he's
Yeah.
like, oh,
It literally just looks like a face like stretched over, like
it
is
looks
wild.
oh
It's
my
crazy.
God, it looks so good.
So, Robo's gloves were constructed from foam rubber, a rather thick and bouncy material. This caused difficulties when shooting the scene where he catches the car keys, taking about a day of production and took 50 shots.
It's real too.
And it's real.
Yeah.
Finally, he got it.
It's like an Alien Resurrection where Sigourney Weaver makes the basket backwards.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's real. Like the car key shot is real.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is a fun
It's
fact.
funny,
That
yeah.
is like the definition of a fun
And
fact.
yeah, as we mentioned, the costume was so large, Weller could not fit inside a police car with the full suit on. He had to wear the top half of the suit along with boxer shorts to get those iconic shots.
I
of
bet
him
he
in the
felt
car.
good doing it.
I'm sure. Got some air in that.
Yeah, take it off.
Yeah.
Let it
All right,
breathe.
this is gonna be fun.
Amazing stuff.
But yeah, the shot of him in the normal car. Also, I love how the cars are like dusty and dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
They look
and the
ragged.
city feels dusty and dirty, kind of
The
like
world
like
feels
probably how someone
lived
who
in.
lives in
Yeah.
Detroit would describe
And
Detroit.
awful. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there. But
Yeah.
yeah, no.
It feels real. Like the
Yeah.
world that it takes
It
place
doesn't
in really
feel,
does feel real.
future though.
But
And
in a
I'm
weird
not
way,
sure
it feels like
does.
weirdly dystopian.
It's
yeah.
a dystopian 80s.
You know,
Like, this
I
is
don't
the
know if
lowest-
I would say that.
like, it's
I
almost
get
like-
what you're saying with the old Detroit. I get that, but
And it's, like, almost
but
in the
this
lowest rung area.
It's like it's 1987, but RoboCop is future.
Well,
Yeah.
but also, and there's like offhand comments like there's a space station apparently, and Star Wars exists.
I
like
love
as
that,
far as
these
like
little tiny world, but like there's
Like
a
that
war,
I missed
there's
until
a
this
war
time.
going on in
It's not
Africa
Total
or something
Recall.
in this.
No,
no,
absolutely
Total
not.
Recall, like this is a whole different.
do you know
world.
what year
We
this is
should
supposed to
talk
take?
about Total
Oh yeah, at some point that'd be awesome.
We brought up Total Recall.
and the remake.
Total Recall to me is the spiritual successor.
Is
to
there a
this.
Total Recall too?
No,
No,
but there's
okay.
that remake,
Yeah,
which
they
is
remake,
closer
yeah.
to the story. We should also talk about Total Recall at some point. 'cause
No, I would love
that
to.
me is the real RoboCop 2 is Total Recall.
Because yeah, Verhoeven's actually directing.
It feels
and
like
stuff,
this. It's the spiritual successor to RoboCop for sure.
yeah. Love it. So the scene where RoboCop shoots a man's penis through that victim's skirt was thought of on the day of filming.
Nice.
It was
Really?
originally planned that he would shoot past her face and like shoot the guy through the cheek and he'd go
Yeah.
down. But on set, I guess she was standing like with her legs
Yeah.
spread and like he's like, what if he just shoots his dick through the skirt? And they were like, love it. The writer was apparently like,
one of those
yeah,
great
that's
Indiana
cool.
Jones
Go.
moments.
And then they just did it on the day.
If you need a rape counsel,
Ma'am, you have been through a traumatic
An incident.
experience.
Oh God, amazing.
seek counsel.
So I thought this one was specifically interesting, especially getting back to like the face reveal. So Verhoeven clashed with Botten when it came to Robo's face reveal, opting for a bright light and shooting in the day, whereas Botten did not feel as confident in his makeup. He was like, no, shoot it dark, like don't
Right,
show
hide
him
it.
as well,
So
hide it
glad
a
they
bit
showed
more.
it.
like they do
But-
in like Wonder
Right.
Woman in 1984
Yeah.
with the cheetah reveal.
Yeah.
They're
Like, no, and
low
Verhoeven was
light.
like, no, dude, this looks great. My
And it
guy,
does.
my
He's
guy,
right.
my lighting guys will know how to light it. It'll look awesome. We're gonna do it. And guess what? One of the best fucking shots of the movie, easily.
Yes.
So good.
I am, and we've said it a million times already. I'm endlessly impressed by that makeup when he takes the.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is by far
Impeccable.
the best effect of the movie. It's one of the best makeup jobs I've ever seen in a film. I'm not trying to be funny or
No,
like,
I agree
like,
with
I
you.
really am so impressed by how that looks.
No, it's insane.
I don't know if you've ever seen Brazil. It reminds me of some of the effects from Brazil.
Yeah.
With the stretch face and
I don't
everything.
even
So
know
there
what
is,
that
I
is.
don't know. Did,
Terry Gilliam film.
I'm-
Very
did you
cool
see
film.
Guardians 3?
Yes.
Well, that they do that effect of that again with the what's, and I thought it
That's
was great.
what it was.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what-
that was
what
very much a
character have they
RoboCop
done? I'm like,
homage.
why?
Yeah.
But again, I think that's an homage to RoboCop.
Oh, it 100% is.
yeah,
No, and
yeah.
I actually think even Gunn said in like an interview that it was, like specifically.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So during production, Verhoeven and producer John Davidson were running massively behind schedule, leading to a decision to not film the film's most crucial scene, Murphy's death, before the end of production. This gave them leverage when going back to financiers to be like, listen, and they showed them everything they had, and they were like, we still need to film this, and then they wanted to film obviously other stuff, and they loved what they saw, obviously, and we're like, all right, fine, yeah, finish off what you need to finish, go back, here's some money.
That's crazy and hilarious.
What's the production company?
Orion Pictures.
Which also
I've
did
seen.
Terminator.
So my cousin has a hat that says Orion on it, but
That's like one of those ones I remember seeing all the time.
they went defunct. I assume
They
in
did
the
after a
90s,
while. Yeah, they're no longer
They were
operating.
Terminator. What else did Orion do?
They did a bunch. I can't name off, but Terminator 2 was like the big. So Terminator 2 actually, Verhoeven credits Cameron and Terminator 2 for getting this movie made because they saw Terminator 2 work.
It's
They
such a
saw
similar
sci-fi.
vibe.
Actually, I think it was only Terminator 1.
I was about to say Terminator 2 is 91.
Sorry, so
like
it would have been
1
the
to
first
4,
Terminator.
yeah.
They were like, oh, sci-fi movies can be popular and
Sci-fi
commercially do
action
well. Right.
movies.
Can do well. So yeah, let's do this. And they
It
move
feels
forward.
very Terminator.
Yeah.
There's moments that feel
yeah.
like it's
like again, like
110%.
you put the. I mean, not even because it's the 1980s, but like this Terminator, Predator. There's these like big character
Three
action
perfect
movies
films.
that like kind of like fall into the same
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
bracket.
Yeah.
I agree
We were
with you.
talking like Father, Son, Holy Spirit of 1980s action movies. Terminator, RoboCop, Predator. It
Two of
really
them
doesn't
happen to
get
have Arnold.
better
Yeah.
than that.
No, truly. Like, it's insane. So, as we mentioned before, the hostage scene where Robo is walking toward the former councilman holding the
I
mayor
want a new
hostage.
car.
We see
What
that
about cruise control?
we see that infrared scene. They're obviously guys in body
6,000
stockings.
sucks.
Yeah.
Way cheaper than getting an actual infrared camera. So good on that.
Do you know what the actual car was for the 6000
No,
SUX?
I-
I was watching. I'm like, what car
I'd
is
love
this
to look it up.
really?
Yeah. So apparently that whole scene, I didn't put this in fun facts because it's not as fun, was based off a real life event. I can't remember where it's like involving Harvey Milk. Like he was a famous guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Apparently, like
Yeah.
his like he was, that's when he was killed. Like
It's a
it
fact,
was,
not a fun fact.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not a fun fact. That's why I didn't put it in. But I'm saying
we're
it
still
anyways.
talking
We're still
about
talking about it. Not fun. Anyways, that was based off a real thing. So Murphy's death, along with the boardroom scene where the man is obviously cut down by the at 209, had to be cut down severely in order to avoid an NC-17 rating.
Which I think in the director's cut,
you see the real stuff.
because he's
Yeah.
on the table and it's just like
pieces
a
are flying
million
off of him.
squibs.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Again, they don't make movies with squibs anymore.
So they had to cut that down. They had to cut down the scene where Murphy gets killed too. There's apparently a shot where he gets his head you see
the-
his brains blow out like of his
Wow.
I love the hand getting shot off.
Amazing.
Like, there's
Yeah.
The,
Looks
the
great.
violence looks.
I was waiting. I'm like, all right, what's getting shot off first? And they really like play with it for a little while.
Well, that's another thing. Even with what's his name, Red, his character,
Clarence Bodiger.
he is so just good. The way he's just dancing with him, and then by the end, he's even like, all right, enough.
It's so
Yeah.
funny because like like the villain details of him are so sparse. Like, what is he? He's like just
he's
some
just a bad. I
criminal?
mean, he's just a terrible
he's like
criminal.
a coke dealer who also steals coke to resell
they,
coke.
They don't really spend a lot of time
He's like a-
getting into him in
He's
his like
bad
his
80s
details.
guy.
He's
but
the head of a
also-
criminal organization,
which
sort
has
of.
ties to OCP.
Right.
Which and there's even that scene where it's like, oh, when we build Delta City, there will be workers who then you can sell drugs and guns.
Right, like, you'll
and
get all your
gambling
shit that
to.
you want, yeah.
So it's like this, like, oh, the company makes money because the criminals make money, and the criminals make money because the company makes money. Like there's a lot of that social commentary coming from a Dutch filmmaker is very profound
It really
in
it
a
is.
movie called RoboCop.
Okay, so I lost my place. I'm sorry.
You better be sorry.
So yeah, they had to like recut it like 8 times before it was finally
Yeah,
accepted.
yeah.
Which is pretty
That's
wild.
kind of funny. It's funny that they left out a crucial scene to get more funding. Like, well, we literally can't.
And
finish
you
the movie.
watched an extended cut.
I did. I meant to look up exactly what the difference was. I
Grab
think
that-
it's the one
grab
that you saw.
Blu-ray right there,
Yeah.
real quick. So
How long is this?
This
I'm
Blu-ray
curious.
is a little more than 90 minutes. I think.
So,
It's like,
mine was like 100 and something minutes. I
I
think.
think this 103 minutes.
So I think that's the one that I watched
Yeah, it's you
Okay,
get a
so
couple more
I
of those
did not.
shots of some of the violence.
too. Violence. I think there's more news because I didn't remember seeing some of the news stuff and the commercials that I saw
The
this time around.
Nukem commercial.
And that I remember, but there was like one with like a big Godzilla
the
type
SU
thing.
the 6000
So wait, the
SUX.
Nukem commercial is not in the original.
I actually don't. I don't want to misspeak.
Do you
on
remember
that.
the Godzilla one? When
Yes.
you watched it? Okay,
Okay,
so
no,
that
that
is
is
in
in the
it. All right,
original.
all right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I couldn't remember.
the
what
Nukem
exactly.
is too.
Okay, so maybe it's-
You've referenced nothing that didn't sound.
All right,
familiar
cool. All
to
right,
me.
sounds good then. Yeah.
maybe there's more in there than we're thinking.
So, I thought this one was actually kind of interesting. The paramedics attempting to resuscitate Murphy after he was shot were played by a real trauma team that were allowed to improvise their lines and the whole scene.
Right, because they knew what to say.
Yeah, they know. But like the editors
cool.
were like, "This is actually like great. They did an amazing job."
But it feels real.
That's what I mean.
what's
That's
so cool
I
about
did
that
notice
scene.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
it does feel real, but I'm also like, are they like, do they actually like care? Like, because like,
that's why
they give up and like, you know, that you can kind of tell. It's
To
like,
me, it almost feels like that's what kind of
Clinical.
surprised me about that scene. It felt like they did kind of care. Like they were trying everything. Then they were like, "All right, call it. We can't do anything. Tried it."
It's so clinical because if they're real paramedics, it's like, all right, intubate them, do
Right.
this, do that. It didn't work. Call it.
It
Like,
feels cold in that way.
because that's how it really is. It
Yeah.
has to be.
Right.
So the real and that scene feels so it makes my skin crawl. That's actually I think
It
the
is.
hardest scene in the movie to watch. Then it's followed by my favorite scene in the movie. Period is that whole him
And
becoming
it's such like
RoboCop.
you're going from like this insanely visceral moment to like this weird like eerily calm moment of
Yeah.
him just like being just like
beep
watching.
beep
Yeah.
beep like the screen comes up.
Wild. So the ED-209 stop motion scenes were done by none other than Phil Tippett, famously. You guys know who he is, right? He's
What else did he do?
No.
He's like a famous stop motion like animator. He just came out with like a movie that he was working on for years apparently in his basement. I can't remember exactly what it is called, but very famous in that realm. He used like the same kind of techniques like Ray Harryhausen used and all that type of stuff. So I mean that's
It feels very like
and
Jason
the
and
jerky motion
Argonauts
is
or
on
Sinbad.
purpose
Yeah.
for sure, like you were mentioning. So I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, they also made a 7-foot tall full-size model to use for static and close-up shots.
Nice.
The screech was created using a reverse jaguar roll,
it sounded like an animal.
roar
Yeah, I
layered
could tell.
alongside a tiger and puma recording.
There's so
Yeah.
many funny lines from Ed 209 that I like in rewatches I catch. The one at the end with you're illegally parked on private property.
Amazing.
20 seconds to comply, or like even like the gun gets dropped. And it's like you put down the gun.
Yeah.
You have 20 seconds.
And then he's like running to the other.
Yeah,
He's
and
like, "Oh,
they're
help
trying
me!
to-
Like,
they're
get
trying to
away!"
grab the
Yeah.
switchboard.
Could you imagine like you're in like some sort of meeting and like somebody like pulls out a gun,
But then they all just go to look.
and he loads it like.
But that's the corporate
And it's
callousness
a 50
of that.
cal, like
Yeah.
it's the biggest gun.
it's a
you- like,
Desert
handgun you can
Eagle,
get.
yeah.
But like the callousness of like, oh yeah, our coworker got shot. Oh, we're never gonna meet quota. Like it just
Yeah.
has this cold corporate feel.
just
to it.
another Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
As,
another very famous.
Raul Julia would say in
There
the
you
Street
go.
Fighter.
Another very famous story apparently about this film. Verhoeven apparently read this script, got like a few minutes in, and was like, "Fuck this," trashed it. And then his wife took it out of the trash, read the whole thing, and was like, "No, you should like read this. It's not just a stupid American action film. Like there's some satirical
just a
elements.
stupid
It's
American
skewing
action
things in."
film.
I think
There's
that's very interesting. Apparently, it went through like almost every famous Hollywood director at the time, and just everyone was like, "No, no,
Yeah,
Really?
someone
no."
really famous turned. What was the really?
I think
famous
like I mean I
one
think
turned
literally almost
Cameron
anyone you
turned
could
it
think of
down.
at the time apparently read it and was just like, no.
But again, it's that name. I mean, I know
Yeah.
because it's so ingrained in culture now. But you hear the name RoboCop and you roll your eyes. It's like,
Right. Absolutely.
what a dumb idea, a RoboCop. But there's so much beneath that first layer of like what it is on the surface is not really what the movie is or is about, which is why I really appreciate it.
I agree, man. There's so much to love, and god damn it, I love this movie. But that's it, fun facts wise.
I really wish it wasn't a series. I wish this was one movie.
No, it does suck
It,
that
it can
Yeah,
be
I don't
its
know what
own
to
thing.
expect. Like sometimes watching like decently okay movies and talking about them on here is pretty fun. Like I don't, I'm curious what 2 and 3 are going to hold. Like I think the remake
3 is bad. 3 is outwardly
Three's tough
bad.
because it's like when it gets to the full on like kind of a kids movie to a degree.
really
Yeah, it turns it because they start doing commercials, they start selling RoboCop action figures, becomes this character in that way, and it
it's
really
not
kind of turns
Peter
away
Weller.
from what
Really?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
It really, the third one is almost not worth talking. I mean, I think
It's-
that if we do
I'm just curious just
2
to
and 3
watch
should
it and
probably
talk
be
about it.
together.
Yeah.
Because like 2, there's a lot more to say. I
Sure.
don't love 2. I don't hate 2.
Should wait. Are we gonna have a live conversation about?
no, we're doing the 3. I mean, we're doing all
No, we're doing-
I don't hate 2. I hate 3. I don't like the remake. We'll get into all of that. Just this movie on its own. Forget about the cultural impact. Forget about the series. Forget about what you think when you hear the title RoboCop. And go into this as you can go into it with a modern sensibility. I hate when people say this movie is more relevant today than it was when it was made. It's as relevant today as it was when it was made.
Right.
It's not more relevant. It's
Timeless.
It's a timeless message about corporate greed and control of public services.
and politics and just
politics. Yeah.
and the many facets that run our country.
Yeah. It's kind of a downer, but it's so much
is.
fun.
No,
so,
It's a fun look at it, at
Yeah,
least.
it
I
is.
have fun and I laugh.
I laugh.
I think the messages are very easy to understand.
Yes.
Like it's not.
I don't
but-
think you don't have to go that next level deep. Like you don't have to be like,
Right.
oh, it's so
but it's not
complex.
slapping you over the face with it, and that's kind of what I liked about it.
I
Like
agree
I'm
with
trying
you.
to think of an 80s movie that really does that, and it probably doesn't exist. But like a movie now, like
man,
we're
is it funny.
we're getting slapped in the face with
Right,
that
like
kind
if
of
it has
shit.
a message, it's just says it to you now
Well,
for the most
okay,
part.
so-
So not all the time, but like yeah.
Again, I don't even want to get into like, oh, do I agree or disagree with messages that are said in films? But like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw Beetlejuice 2.
Sure.
He did.
I
It
did,
was
yeah.
fine, but there was a couple moments where like they made direct political messages, but it wasn't done in a way that was smart or subtle.
Sure.
They looked right at the camera and said those political messages.
Right.
And I'm
That's
like,
what I mean.
I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I'm not even trying to get into that. It's like
Right.
there's a way that you can put like there's a lot of movies where I disagree with the political message, but love the film.
Right.
Right.
And you get what it's trying
And I
to
can
say.
get what it's trying to say there, but I saw Beetlejuice 2, and there's like a couple moments where they look right at the camera and they're like, "Here's our political message." And I'm like, it doesn't fit. There's no
doesn't fit,
subtlety.
And I also just don't think it accomplishes anything.
No, and-
like
and
I think
just-
when you present something like that, if you can present something like that in a way to, especially like, I don't know, get through to the masses where they're not even the message gets to them, but that's not the brunt of it.
Right.
You're doing it in such a way that it
you
feels
weave
natural.
it in. You
Yes.
weave it into the story. You weave it into the movie.
It's like, oh,
the
I see what it's
narrative.
saying. It's not like
Right.
this is bad because of this.
It
Right.
kind of reminds me of like I think Barbie does a lot of that.
Yes,
They're-
Barbie
that
does a
mode- yeah,
good
they're-
mode
especially
with a
the
better way
American
of
era,
weaving
yeah.
it a little bit better
Yeah.
versus just smacking you on the
There
head.
is one scene I feel like where they smack you on the head with it in that, but that's other.
In
But again,
Barbie?
yeah, in
And
Barbie.
yeah, I
but
agree.
other than that, like
I think overall,
no, I agree
though,
with you.
Barbie does a better job of
I
like,
agree.
weaving
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah,
political
because you know
message.
what's it's funny that like Barbie actually.
Barbie's
I
really
can't believe
similar
I
when it
really
comes to
like-
Rob-
am I-
How are we on Robo? Yeah,
Am
we're
I
gonna get
about to
Barbie.
compare Barbie to RoboCop?
I don't
But,
think
like,
it's a bad
but
comparison. I really don't.
It's a lot of comedy.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
Barbie. Would you say
Light on
Barbie?
the squibs.
Is
but-
Barbie?
I would like some
I
more
could use a little more
squibs, but
squibs.
yeah.
Is Barbie a
Yeah.
satire?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yes.
I would agree. Very much
That's
on like
the-
on what
yes.
Barbie is and like
Because
what.
again,
yeah.
you see, oh, it's the Barbie movie. It's going to be about Barbie Dreamland, and it's not. It's about something else, but it's also that too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like
Wow,
that is
that's
actually an apt
crazy
comparison.
comparison.
I really do, because
I
Barbie
would've never
is a
thought
satire.
about that.
RoboCop, this to me,
RoboCop
is
and Barbie are the
a
same movie.
fucking satire. And if you know that going into it, I feel you're gonna really enjoy the movie a
Yeah.
lot more.
Well, you know, you're gonna know how seriously to take it or not seriously, if you will, to a degree.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard to take RoboCop seriously because of the title alone. And I
Exactly.
have to go back to that title because I think it's brilliantly masquerading as something bigger than what it is.
Then what it presents itself
Yeah.
as.
Or no,
100%.
it's brilliantly masquerading as something that's not as big as what it is.
right.
Chris Trejo.
I think that does it, man.
Yeah.
Top tier. Oh, I mean,
Oh, film.
high tier film. Yeah.
High tier film. Okay, we gotta explain this to you.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Come
so
on,
the
come on.
rating
Let's get into
system.
that.
This is very
Okay.
very
So it's-
ethereal. So whatever you feel, really.
So it's
know,
it's on a 9-point scale. We have the lowest being film, low tier film,
Okay.
mid tier. Film.
There's three tiers. Hold on.
I have to take notes. I have to take notes.
There's three tiers.
Throwing all
No,
these
let me-
DNN stuff.
You're
in there.
you're going too deep already. There's three tiers.
Three tiers.
There's flick, movie, film.
Oh yeah.
And then within each of those tiers, there's high tier, mid tier, low tier.
This is a high tier film.
There we go.
And so
right,
I
so
say
you're
on my
good.
letterboxd, on my letterbox description, I compare two movies directly. I give 5 stars to The Wizard of Oz, and I give 5 stars to Return of the Living Dead. And I've always said that like a perfect film or a 5-star film for me is not necessarily like. It's relative to what it is. It's relative to its subject matter, its budget, its director, its themes, everything. For what this is, for an 80s action movie satire, this is a top tier film. I would rate both Citizen Kane and RoboCop as 5-star movies for very different reasons.
This is my Citizen Kane.
That's the quote of the episode. right there.
You said high tier film.
High tier film.
High-tier
It's not
film.
even a question.
No, not even a question for me either.
I could watch this again tonight.
I will watch this.
You know, like, I could easily.
This is high tier film.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's gonna say low.
Mid tier film.
I respect that
Yes,
opinion.
yeah,
I
it's
respect
fine.
that.
I understand.
Mid-tier
There's
film.
definitely, I think, some nostalgia wrapped up into that for me to a degree.
I also
I
really-
do genuinely think this is a fantastic film.
I genuinely love a lot of schlock, and I think that I think this is purposeful schlock.
100%.
And I'm a sucker for schlock, man. So
Chris Trio, thank you for bringing this rewrite interview to our table for us to continue to do.
Dude, I'm happy to do it.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm always happy to be here.
Not as usual, but yeah, thanks for coming back on. It's been a long hiatus, and we're glad.
Now,
to
I have a lot
you
to
back.
say about the Star Wars prequels. So
We'll be back.
Well, you're recording.
One day that
you're
will
recording
happen.
in a different age. Kathleen Kennedy's gone, man.
dude, I'm so out of Star Wars, I can't even talk about it.
You know, Kathleen Kennedy's gone.
she?
People say
Yeah.
that by the way, people say that like anything's going to change at all.
Yeah,
like
right.
with like,
Filoni's in, man. Anyway,
but everyone
One-
hates him now too. So like either way, like it's
Tune in for part 2 of
everyone's
Star Wars.
you can normally listen or watch us live on twitch.tv/Delco Network or on youtube.com/Delco Network when we also have been streaming. But you can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Network or youtube.com. It's just Delco Network. I've said that twice now.
Is it
but
Delco Nerd Network?
It is Delco Network.
DNN?
Yeah.
I repeat things all the time on the outro.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but I call it that because I'm like I said the streaming, which is new.
Yeah.
Streaming on YouTube is new.
Cool.
Yeah, but you can find us anywhere. Oh no. You can find us anywhere with an outside out Delco Nerds. Facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network, and you can find all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. If you have any thoughts, concerns, anything for the good of the group, our Gmail, DelcoNerds@gmail.com. For Trio, for Evan, my name is Anthony Ragucci. Thanks for listening, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you at RoboCop 2.
Hell yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, we didn't talk about the score.
Oh,
Does
I had it on there.
the score come back?
Yeah, but like I just we'll bring it.